Aerodrome Finance price update, crucial times ahead, and one microcap project you cannot afford to miss. My name is mikemadz. Let's start this video. Before we start the video, as always, AERO community, make some noise as we are heading into this mania phase of this cycle. Every like matters, every comment matters, every type of engagement matters. The more people engage, the better for the video, the more people are going to see about Aerodrome, and the more people are going to hear and see about this microcap. Big disclaimer here, yes, it is a microcap, but which means, guys, this has a lot of upside potential, but of course, treat it with caution, but we'll cover it here shortly, so let's start. So wasting time, let's jump straight into it. Of course, today we're going to cover Aerodrome, why it's super important to keep an eye on Aerodrome right now as we are heading in the part of the cycle where altcoins will most probably catch massive bid. Aerodrome is winning, metrics we're gonna take a look at, where Aerodrome is absolutely accelerating here. Crucial to know, and one warning to have an eye on, as most people are euphoric, everything is pumping, you need to have an eye on those metrics, super important. AERO price, when can we finally break out here? Finally, after this months of waiting. And of course the low cap gem here, which truly is a 100x potential. I gave you Solana at $8. I gave you Render at very cheap prices. I gave you Bonk at very super low valuations. I gave you Alien Base here, which did a 10-20x. And this is also one gem here I truly believe, if it catches the attention, has massive upside potential, and we'll cover why that is. Okay, starting off with Aerodrome, of course, first here, Aerodrome is winning here. So the thesis is coming into full play. Our thesis was always Coinbase base is gonna dominate here. The retail space is gonna accelerate the Ethereum ecosystem, and this is actually taking place here. As you can see here, we have record after record here, week by week, new records being broken. Another record-breaking day of Aerodrome. Yesterday, Aerodrome hit an all-time high with $1.15 billion in daily, guys, in daily volume. Super impressive. Again, adoption is happening here. Ethereum adoption basically is happening mostly on Base. Retail will come through Coinbase into Base, and this is the winning ecosystem this cycle, most probably, in my personal opinion. Of course, next to Solana, next to Sui, Base cannot and should not be slept on. So this, in this regards, metric-wise, super attractive. Nothing to be worried about here in the background. Very bright future for Aerodrome, as I have kept telling you here since months, basically. Okay, taking a look at that, also a post here from Aerodrome themselves. $2 billion, first day with $2 billion volume on Base, still day one. So even more here, this is a newer post, $2 billion in one day, absolutely crazy. Aerodrome is winning here, long story short. And most probably, this is just the beginning here, as crazy as it might sound here. While retail is slowly flowing in, the real mania, crazy parabolic phase is not here yet, but as I can slowly start to sniff out, it's gonna come sooner or later here, as retail is ramping up. I'm seeing more and more TikTok videos about crypto. I'm seeing more and more people here asking me, is it too late to buy, etc. So retail is coming, things are changing, and of course the Bitcoin price is reflecting that. So Aerodrome, metric-wise, everything absolutely in check. Taking a look at the Aerodrome price here itself, zooming in, of course we covered that extensively here. Before the elections, we had actually a bearish pattern here. Okay, this bearish pattern here is a head and shoulders pattern, which had a target of some around 60 cents. Of course, the election results was in favor of the cryptocurrency space, and as you can see here, instead of having this head and shoulder pattern, we actually created a massive W here. We broke out, and right now, guys, we are in this phase where Bitcoin is sucking out the air of the entire space. So let Bitcoin do its thing. This is absolutely normal. Bitcoin pumps first, okay, goes into price discovery. Once Bitcoin comes closer and closer to its all-time high and starts stabilizing here, move sideways, this will be the time, guys, where liquidity will flow from Bitcoin into altcoins. So don't be worried here about this price action. Most altcoins are kind of waiting here, okay? You can almost sense it. Most altcoins are waiting to see where Bitcoin is heading, and when it's finally time here for the sideways chop time for Bitcoin, this will be the time where people simply allocate volume or liquidity from Bitcoin into altcoins, as they feel like, okay, Bitcoin is already at a certain high level. It's not really realistic that Bitcoin does a 2x from here, so let me allocate to altcoins. And this will be the time, guys, where altcoins are going to pump. So you only have to have conviction. Of course, you need to hold something that you're convicted in, and more importantly, you need to have patience here. This chart simply shows that you need to have a lot of patience in the crypto space. patience pays off, of course, only in projects that have use case and only in projects that have the right narrative, even if it's meme coins, unfortunately, this cycle. But Aerodrome will catch bid here if, of course, everything stays as it is here. If a recession is suddenly on the horizon or other things, black swans are always a thing, but you don't really need to deal with it right now. So this is right now a super normal setup. Everything is looking super healthy. As you can see here, we are above all moving averages, testing them as support. And the next step should be, if Bitcoin doesn't puke here, next step should be in the next couple of weeks, the parabolic phase for altcoins. So make sure to have an exit strategy and make sure to be ready for that, okay? Zooming in here, Elliott wave theory. So I'm not a huge fan of only believing in one theory or one way to chart, but this is certainly one way here. Elliott wave theory, as you can see here, this can be the next steps for Aerodrome. As you can see here, a push up of the level of around $4, and this will be the time where people start to finally believe into Aerodrome again, because $4 is going to be substantial. And of course, from there, a correction is likely here, guys. People are going to take profit. People that bought much lower will take profit, but then the real blow off top can begin, which most probably will happen later. Also, most probably next year, mid next year is where I expect the top for altcoins, and then we'll see how it goes from there. So be ready for that. Of course, make sure to always be prepared for every scenario. This doesn't have to happen, but it's the most likely scenario, as seasonality is in favor, rate cuts are finally in place, political tensions are done, election is done, so everything is falling into place pro crypto. So you have to prepare for this parabolic phase, okay? Taking a look at, of course, not everything is absolutely brilliant and not everything is absolutely perfect. You need to take a look at one thing here, in my personal opinion, as this one indicator always, since the inception, always marked the top for Bitcoin. So, of course, before that, I also want to show you we're not even in alt season yet. As I just told you, this is the season where Bitcoin leads the way. We're not even in alt season yet, and clearly altcoins are moving, of course, but the real parabolic phase is not here yet. So we will wait for that, and most probably it will come. As you can see here, this is an oscillator from Bitcoin season to altcoin season, and you need to time it correctly. Otherwise, you just simply hold altcoins that bleed to Bitcoin. Doesn't make any sense. But either way, if you're holding Aerodrome, make sure to be ready for the alt season, okay? The most important, or not the most important, one of the most important indicators to take a look at is currently the USDT dominance chart. Why is that important? Because as you can see here, each time we tested this trend line here as support is a local top or top for Bitcoin. And this is currently my only worry, one of my few only worries, that we might have actually a breather here in the next couple of days or weeks. Of course, everyone is euphoric. Everyone is super bullish. Everyone expects 200k Bitcoin by next week, but you always have to have a realistic view here on the market, and this is definitely something you shouldn't be sleeping on. As you can see here, once we tap this here is actually where Bitcoin rejected from 93k, but we'll have to see how it goes. Of course, trend lines can be broken to the downside. No trend line can be tested as support forever. That wouldn't make any sense, even mathematically, but we have to see here, if we break below it, this will be the time where the mania is going to be in place. Okay, basically this chart shows you guys how much people are in stables. Okay, as you can see here, once we tap it, people are actually taking profit and moving into stable coins. And of course, people who hold a lot of stable coins are not in the market, not risk on, which simply shows you that the price might be heading down. So keep an eye on it. This is the chart right here. If you want to have it on trading view, it's a market cap USDT dominance. Okay, 1 weekly chart, draw the trend line and keep it in check. Super, super important. But it's time to cover the 100x load cap jam project here. Is this clickbait? No, guys, I truly believe in the upside potential of this project, and this is the only reason I want to cover it. Before we get into this here, first thing first, don't sleep on it. Of course, it kind of sounds sketchy, it kind of sounds too good to be true. If you are also bullish on the project after you do your research, don't sleep on it. Why is that? Because the market cap of the token here, of course the protocol has a token, is fairly low here, below $1 million. So the upside potential is truly, the sky's the limit. But of course also, guys, with crazy upside potential, hand in hand always comes volatility. So keep that in mind, and with volatility comes risk here, especially if you are an emotional trader. So keep that in mind. Now, protocol wise, I don't see any risks here. Protocol itself is super solid. The team is doxed. and solid here, so this is also a big plus. And the most important thing is here the narrative this falls into play. I think this narrative is set up here to catch massive bid in the next phase here of this bull market once this altcoin rotation comes into play. This is how I want to cover it. Also, big disclaimer, guys, of course I am in contact with the team, full transparency here, and of course also, guys, I'm not covering a project here if I don't hold the token myself here. Always fully transparent, and I want to cover it. Why? Because this kind of reminds me of Alien Base, not protocol wise but price action wise. This kind of reminds me of Alien Base pre-pump here, as it is super low market cap. The only thing that's kind of missing, well, not really, they're doing well so far, but the thing that's kind of missing is the attention here, and this is why I want to cover this project here. Again, keep in mind I gave you Solana at $8, I gave you Render at $1, I gave you Sui at 80 cents, I gave you Alien Base before it did a 10-20x, and I even gave you Bonk here before it did a 50x. All those videos are on my channel, you can check on your own, do with that information as you wish. And of course, nothing is guaranteed. I cannot make every call perfect, but I personally see a lot of upside potential here. And actually, not just upside potential, I see a lot of potential for this project and for the team, and this is why I'm so bullish on it. Let's cover it. Right, now you know the upside potential, the attractive upside potential, you know the risks. Which project am I talking about? I am talking about PokPok. Long story short, as always on my channel, I like to keep things simple here. Of course, let me know down below if you want me to go more in depth here, how to step by step use this protocol in order to generate the PEG token. But either way, long story short, PokPok is a gamified way to trade options on chain. Okay, this is the explanation of it. Why is gamified so important? I will cover shortly. But again, in PokPok, your mission is simple. You have eggs here, profitable eggs, which you trade options with, and then those eggs lay chickens lay eggs, and then of course you can exchange those eggs for wherever you want to. If now you're looking at this and telling me, Mike, what is this? I'm not really interested in a gaming interface. And at least be exposed here to the upside potential. You can just simply buy the PEG token here directly on Aerodrome. So this way you're exposed to the upside potential of the PEG token here, which in my personal opinion has a lot of upside potential without using the protocol. But actually, in my personal opinion, I would use this protocol as it is a decent way here to generate those eggs here. As you can see, it's a gamified interface trading options. Basically, in the hatchery you have your chickens. Those chickens then, if profitable, lay those eggs. And super attractive here, as also with like Aerodrome, with most protocols, I always recommend to stake your tokens if possible. You can actually also stake your PEG token here in the farm in order to even earn yield on them. So very interesting dynamic can happen here, as you have a low market cap token which you can increase by staking, and of course in combination with price appreciation here, once attention is on this project, this thing can be super successful. And again, finding this type of play here, especially on Ethereum and Base, is super rare. We have a low market cap token, we have a docs team, we have a very solid protocol, and of course we also have no red flags here. This is not a rug pull, so finding this type of play very rare, and this is why I'm so bullish on it. Again, the team is doxed here, as you can see. You can check it out yourself. You can check out the LinkedIn profiles to see their experiences, and they're actually also backed on top of that by many players. So super attractive situation to be in. And why this gaming narrative is so important, because you have to keep in mind, in crypto, narratives come in waves here. Currently we are in the Bitcoin and meme narrative, but the gaming narrative actually comes at the later stages of the cycle, which we are in right now. So you want to be pre-positioned before this wave, this liquidity wave comes in. And of course people will search for Ethereum base gaming ecosystem plays, and you want to be at least front run. You can actually front run this narrative by owning this token. So I'm personally doing it. Understand narratives in the crypto space. We usually have Bitcoin leading the way, then altcoins, and those niche narratives here like gaming catch bid here all of a sudden at a very explosive rate. So be positioned for it. Why is the gaming narrative so important? Because it's also one attractive way to onboard retail into the crypto space, because just buying and selling tokens is not the most fun way to go about things. Having a gamified interface to trade options is an engaging way to onboard retail, or to even just onboard crypto natives here in order to generate this cash flow. So very bullish on this project. And taking a look at the token here, They reached a milestone here, despite this market cap being not so high here, a milestone of reaching $5 million in volume. Very, very impressive. And actually the liquidity here, the liquidity in comparison to the market cap is at a decent spot here. And taking a look at the chart, this is basically just sideways accumulation. Reminds me of Alien Base, not protocol-wise, Alien Base is something completely different, but just chart-wise and where we are in this market cap, super, super attractive, as this thing can or has the potential to go absolutely parabolic. And this is why I'm personally exposed to this token. Again, not financial advice. I hope you understand my thesis here. My personal opinion, the gaming narrative will come into full force, and you make sure to be positioned for it. If you want me to have a more in-depth video to go about how to do this one step by step, let me know down below. The most important thing is, as always, do your own research, super, super important. Be bullish on yourself. That yields the most returns. And the most important thing is, as always, don't get wrecked.
This guy giving out from blue tops like Marge Simpson, just hard discipline, pot simmering, cooking up, no rocks in the pan, watching the plan form in the sand, bidding castles out of thoughts in our head, late nights, no sleep in my bed, trying to see my dreams manifest. Look at that, now look